tonight we're celebrating the history and rich culture of Latino Americans.
In tonight's Lifting Voices, Jessica Hart spotlights the important contributions of Minnesota Latinos dating back to the late 19th century.
Not every community has a plethora of books to trace back their roots.
I would argue there needs to be lots more research on Latinos in Minnesota.
Jimmy Patino, a University of Minnesota professor, is researching the Mexican-American civil rights movement in Minnesota.
There's this idea that Mexicans are new and they're kind of transient or migrant, and Latinos have been here since the late 19th century.
The first Latinos settled here in 1886.
But really it starts en masse between 1910 and 1940s. 1910 marking the beginning of the Mexican Revolution. So there's a civil war in Mexico at this time, leading to mass migration to the United States.
Labor was also a factor.
Beats were huge in Minnesota by the 1930s and 40s, and one of the primary workforces were Mexican people in different parts of rural Minnesota. And then as these folks are roaming through, there's industrial jobs emerging in meatpacking, factory work.
Many began to settle on the west side of St. Paul, creating the first barrio, a neighborhood.
It's also related to repression. So in some ways, a barrio marks segregation and like that Mexicans were relegated to certain parts of the city. But it's also empowerment because it's where people created institutions.
Institutions still alive today. Institutions that created a center of culture and community that spread.
I'm thinking primarily of South Minneapolis. We've all seen all the taquerias and the mercados and all these things on Lake Street.
A culture corridor adding to the legacy of Latinos in Minnesota, writing a new chapter in history. In Minneapolis, Jessica Hart, KARE 11 News.
Patino is working with K-12 schools to teach their students about the Chicano movement, which was a civil rights and cultural empowerment movement in the 60s and 70s by Mexican Americans. They were fighting for education reform, labor rights, and political empowerment.